Cost of living making us cry, while young men and women just drift to crime. That's why I want our election to come right now, to reclaim this country from this turmoil. I want our election to come right now, to give back the young people decent jobs. I want our election to come right now, to get rid of all this biasness. I want our election to come right now, to eradicate this wickedness. Right now, those young people say, right now, they want it today. They can't wait until tomorrow. Right now, right now. Carriacou people say, right now, they want it right away. They can't take no more pain and sorrow. Right now. The children lose hope. Right now, like they're hooked on the dope. We have to get past and happy to pray for this country. Right now. I tell you, we want our election right now. Whoa. I people crying. Whoa. People calling. What they're lamenting, a figure is hurting, with excruciating pain, the exploitation throughout this nation. Tell me who going to take the blame? For many years, we sharing those tears, and no one show us that they care. Victimization is their solution. Why public servants now in despair? Everywhere you go throughout this country, you can feel the plight of the people. The whole country now confused with infuriating issues. Like them politicians, they rarely lose. That's why I want our election to come right now, to stop all this victimization. I want our election to come right now, so that we can regain this nation. I want our election to come right now, to unify this triland. I want our election to come right now, to untangle the state of the corruption. Right now, the whole country say, right now, it is so unfair. We want more transparency and democracy. Right now, it's getting too weak. Right now, it is honesty which are advocated and plaguing the country. Right now, we have to be aware. Right now, public servants in fear. Every day they live in their lives in despair. Right now, I tell you, we want our election right now. Oh, people calling, people crying. The regression and the aggression that is flipping in our mind, causing confusion and transgression with the people we vote the last time. Empty promises went down just so, with some crazy manifesto. That is why we are concerned about the future of tomorrow. Imagine the elders had promised 400 down. Up to now, they can't even see Judge Brand. When you entreat the old people right, you feel there wouldn't be pride. Is why the minister look like he full of pride. That's why I want our election to come right now, to get rid of all those bureaucrats. I want our election to come right now, so we can bring back some decent patriots. I want our election to come right now, before people start getting heart attack. I want our election to come right now, to get rid of this absurd thing they call fact. Right now, the whole country dread. Right now, all man lose their head. He want more stability and tranquility. Right now, we waiting patiently. Right now, things just guarantee. So we go get free jersey and plenty money. Right now.
And good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name's Sheldon Scott. I'll be taking you up until the 10 o'clock hour. It's now 6 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock on the Spice Isle of Grenada. That's 6 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock. And of course, it's the Friday night forum, so you know from the time you hear my voice. 4407377 347-329-3101. Those are the numbers you can call and get onto the inside of tonight's program.
Playway country.
Yes, indeed.
With a playway economy. We are playway country. With a playway economy. Cause no government representing we. With a playway mental.
A special good night to the listeners joining us on 94.9 We Noise Radio out there in Brooklyn. Those of you joining us on 92.9 Sister Isle FM, give your bro a shout out, yeah?
July 8th was truly Liberation Day.
Linton and the crew out there at Sister Isle, special good night to you all.
Say, Jonah, it's time for you to go, so we can hail King Pharaoh. We're tired of your bread and water. We can't eat that no longer. We must drive BMW and Jaguar.
So a good night to you all. Let me see who's on the YouTube. Agnes Henry, Leshra, Abraham, Maria, Noel, Debbie Seals, Sherma Jeremiah, Ashma Charles, Errol Bonaparte, Michelle Alexander, Velma Pascal, Patsy Frank, Janice Mitchell, Kathleen Ledlow, Terrence Charles, Baby Daddy, Anne-Marie Celestine Grant, Alan Jones, Alan Jones, good night to you, and Michelle and Zoe. Yes, Zayla, good night to you. Oh, Easter, them children and them up late these days. Right? Gavin Thomas, good night to you. Claude Abraham, Jackie Raymond, Veronica Lewis, Sandra Pascal, good night to you. And little madam, I call she name wrong. I was getting in trouble like Xavier. I get the name wrong, I get in trouble. Right, good night to you. And Deborah Laborde, good night, good life. Mayana Julian, and Andrews. And let me see, Jerome Lewis, good night to you. Carib Spice, good night. Francis George, good night to you. And thank you, Francis. And Elsie Peters, I see you there. Carl Jones, my bro. Hey, I haven't seen you for a while, though. Yeah, maybe me and you in different circle. We pass in different area and see you for a little while. Faith Lynn, Hallie Douglas, good night. Stephanie John, good night to you and Tati, your husband, the entire home circle. Faith Lynn, Hallie Douglas, good night to you. Dolores Redhead, Dominic in the house. Adrian Watts and Mrs. Watts, good night to both of you. Jay, Eliza Bernard, Sherma, I think I call you out already, you know, but Sherma Jeremiah, you and Zayla, good night. Sherms Houston, good night to you. Kathleen Knights, Cindy Thomas, Herbert Norre, Teresa Joseph, Ron Julian, Miriam Samuel, Yolan Pariag, Saralyn Jeremiah, Maud Martin, Jacinta Livingston, Jenny Samuel, Denot Amada, Vanessa Lalji, Sherma Alexander, Jocelyn Matheson, I call you just now, right? You get twice, Carriacou people, that is we think. You Douglas, Christine Otley, Desiree Joseph, and let me see who's over on the Facebook. Folks, remember to like and share. I ain't seen enough like and share yet. Like and share, like and share, like and share. Those of you on Facebook, like and share. Those of you on YouTube, you could just like, right? Nice. And make sure you get others to subscribe as well. It's not just looking at it. Ask them to subscribe. So each time we go live, they'll get a notification. So let me see who's on the YouTube, on the Facebook. I see Winnie Simon has bounced up your name first day. Leslie, James, Sonny Isle, Peter Striker, Louis, Davis Charles, and let me see, Tegwa. Good night to you. Cicely Celestine, Ingrid Bond, Kishan McSween, Carrie Modest, good night to you. Joan Henry, and Hermione Calise, Charmaine Ragba Singh, good night to you. Esther Peters, McLean Mitchell, Bernadette Joseph, Nurse Wendy McGuire, nurse, I need your advice. Yeah, Olive McQueen, McEwen, yeah, Olive McEwen, good night to you. Hey, Fluffy, good night, man. Yeah, Ram, good night to both of you. right? Nakisha Jones, Norma Roberts, and let me see, Pamela Hackett, Veronica Frederick, Louisa Williams, Desiree Joseph, Lydia Alexander, Kieran Regis, Donna Langdon, Nakisha Jones, Nelsia Charles, Ascending, Florence Lewis, Ingrid Bourne, Angus George, Evelyn Narayan, Lydia Alexander, let me see who else is there, Enid Dekoto, Gemma Thomas, good night to you. All right, yeah, everything started to get mixed up there night. So good night to everyone, Yeah, good night to everyone. This is a play with countries, a play with economy, because they say that's how some people have to survive is by the gamble.
We are a play with country with a play with economy, cause no government representing we with a play with mentality. We become a play with country with a play with economy, only hungry belly and poverty with a play with mentality. For 4.5 years, our I cry bitter tears.
Let me say a special good night to the listeners out there in Marquis, Sobeys, Chinese Hill.
But Pharaoh head get harder and harder, holding firm to old school ideologies and personal perception in the midst of modern day recession and suffering.
See some kind of thing in one of the, doesn't want to call it thing a newspaper, but in one of them publication, I see something in it.
Yeah, they don't must go there, but things are run red. Man go lose the head. We are a play with country.
You know, there seems to be a concept within the present administration. There's this concept that certain things are too good for certain groups of people. In other words, they've separated Grenada, they've separated our country into basically two groups. Yeah? And how they're looking at it is that certain things are too good for certain people. So now they've started, and you saw usually they does kind of telegraph their moves. In other words, it does give you a forewarning or a foreshadowing of something to come. So when you see one of their newspapers who does offer advice to them, and let me use an example. We started playing the clips of the Prime Minister and the statements that he made in relation to the houses in Corinth and so on. We started playing those roughly about 3 weeks ago. Right after we started playing it, the editorial of that particular publication came out calling on the government to hurry up and distribute those houses. Yeah? It called on them to hurry up and distribute it. And all of a sudden, you see the rush. They wasn't saying nothing about houses. They were very quiet. But then there was this rush to go and distribute houses. This rush, let's get it out. Let's go and sort out them things. Let's get them houses and them out. Yeah? So there was a rush to go and sort out those houses and to distribute them and so. And many other things, if you really look at it, many other things over the past 638 or so days have been foreshadowed by that particular publication. A lot of things have been foreshadowed by them, so that when the government is about to do something, they use that population as a testing ground. So they would throw it there, yeah, and see how the general population would either accept it or to basically give the impression that, yeah, we that caused that because we put it in that publication. And so when I saw this particular one in the publication, and it speaks to actually kicking out some of the people in Chinese Hill. No, the picture there is not of Chinese Hill. That picture is of Mount Rush. But Chinese Hill, for those of you that may not know, Chinese Hill is the name that's usually associated with the housing project that was done in the Sobeys area. It is usually called Chinese Hill. Yeah? And this article speaks to getting rid of some of the people that living there. Not working out a plan with them and doing things. No, get rid of them. There's bad elements. Nobody is saying everything is operating perfect up there. But you have to understand that the mindset of this administration is that places like those you're seeing in this, these are the ones up in Mount Rush. Some of those up in Mount Rush. But in the mindset of this administration, that is too good for a certain class of people in this country. That is only one class of people must own things. One class of people must have things. That is why many people are going to the Grenada Development Bank to try and secure a loan for their children to go and study and they can't secure it. Or they're going to secure a loan to sort out their business and they can't secure it. Yet government ministers are able to go there and secure to buy house and fix up house, and so they could get a couple million to do that. Others could get a couple million for the business. That don't even operating as far as I know right now, but they could get a couple million for the business. Others might be able to get money to go and send their children to study, contrary to the laws that are in place in relation to the Grenada Development Bank. But when the poorer people go there, they are unable to secure any loan from them. They can't get. Because now it's not geared towards them, it's geared towards a particular set and a particular class of people within this country. And you realize that all of the moves that are being made by this administration and all of the things that you see taking place are all geared towards affecting the poor people, but that those with money would benefit. That's why for the graphic you saw for today, it said rebranding and renaming. Yeah? Let me just put it up. The houses in Corinth were rehanded over and they were rebranded over. Because one of the things that this administration, seeing that they had absolutely no plan for anything, they came in and what they did is they just took everything that the New National Party either was already doing, had started, didn't tell people enough about. They took all those things and then they just give it a new name. So you may not know that in St. David there were more than one. So my good friend, I know you all are listening from St. David. Somebody messaged me, but I know there were at least 2 brigades that were going around building bathroom and toilets for people in St. David. There were at least 2, and it wasn't in one area as you're doing one village and then you're moving to our next village, and so it was being done all over St. David. I may not have the exact figure, but maybe my good friend could call and tell me roughly how many were done within any particular year. But bathrooms and toilets are not a new thing. The WASH program is not a brainchild of anybody. And as we have proven to you on this program before, the WASH program existed many years ago. And there are many versions of the WASH program throughout the world right now. Water and sanitation. So it is not something that is the brainchild of anybody, because you see, there's always another concept that we'll deal with a little later on, which is the hero worship and the genuflection to the present Prime Minister. That they always have to be genuflecting. Listen carefully to the statements that are being made by the political activists. Listen carefully to the statements that are being made by each and every minister when they're speaking. They have to sing the praises of their dear leader. They have to always sing his praises. Had it not been for the leadership of our dear Prime Minister, it was the brainchild of our Prime Minister. This is due to the care and concern of our dear Prime Minister. Every single minister, none of them have belly. None of them have belly. All of them had to be brown-nosing. Yeah? So you see that taking place and you kind of take note of it. You say, well, that's a dictatorship. That is a dictatorship. When the people can't even speak freely and so on, that is a dictatorship. Yeah? So these people, there is a mindset within them that everything that is there has to be renamed. So they are going to rename the Imani program. That is going to be renamed. They have stated it in Parliament. They've said it on different programs that they're going to rename the Imani program. Renaming the Imani program doesn't help the hundreds of young people that left the secondary school system and the tertiary school system within the years 2022 and 2023, and who in about 3 months' time, are going to be leaving the school system in 2024. Renaming the Imani program doesn't help with that. Simply putting a new face on it. If termite eat out your house, you have a board house and termite eat out your house, taking oil paint and put all around and all kind of thing to cover the little hole here and there and put a little potty and this different thing. It is still rotten. When a hard breeze blow, it will still go down. But that's what they're doing. They're just window dressing everything that they have destroyed. So they've destroyed the youth programs. So we have moved now from having a ministry of youth, and now you came down to a department of youth, and now we reached to a division of youth, all between 2022 and now. So under the new National Party, you had a ministry of youth. It came down, it wasn't a ministry again, it was a department of youth, and now it's gone down even further back down to a division of youth. The last time we had a division of youth was probably in the early 2000s, or probably the late 1990s or early 2000s or somewhere there. But that's the stage we've gone down to again. That shows the interest that they have in young people, or the lack thereof. That's what it shows. So all they have been doing is rebranding and renaming. So when Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell went to the People's Republic of China in the year 2005, along with the Honorable Elvin Nimrod and some other individuals who I know but shall remain nameless at this point in time. Somebody go challenge me later and I will call other names. When the houses were negotiated, it was right after Hurricane Ivan had passed through Grenada. You're talking 2005. Hurricane Ivan was in September of 2004, 20 years ago, in September of this year. You'd be remembering, not celebrating, you'll be remembering Hurricane Ivan on the 7th of September 2024, 20 years since it has taken place. So when Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell and the late, God bless his soul, Honorable Elvin Nimrod, my fellow Kakabawi, went to China, they negotiated houses to replace the thousands of houses that were destroyed or seriously damaged here in Grenada. It was to address the issue of many of the young people that wanted a place to stay, but they couldn't afford it. They didn't have the kind of money to be able to afford it. That is why we got the houses. And now you're completing what should be not the end of the program, but completing the first half. This government doesn't seem as though they're willing to go forward with any more houses. And with the economic situation that's taking place in China right now, because the Chinese economy has slowed down. So the Chinese economy of 2024 is not the Chinese economy of the year 2004. In the year 2004, China was a growing economy, and you had all that interest. You had all the US businesses making sure that they got their foot into China and so on. So you name the name brand. So it could be Apple, it could be Microsoft. All of them made sure that they got into China. The Chinese economy was booming. So if in 2024, you realize due to various issues between the Chinese government and the US government that these companies are now starting to pull out or planning to pull out of China, and the Chinese economy has slowed down due to that economic back and forth and that diplomatic back and forth between the US and China. Now, if the Chinese find themselves in that situation where the amount of money that was available before is no longer available, and they have a government here that's dumb enough to give the impression that, well, we're done with all and those houses and we don't need 1,000 more. No, we don't have 1,000 more people here that need the 1,000 more, because it's supposed to be 2,000. You've closed in on roughly 1,000 now, so there's supposed to be another 1,000. That's part of the agreement. And we're not asking, we're telling you that that is part of the agreement. Now, after this, you hear this government saying now that, giving the impression that that's the end of it. Remember, they did that between 2008 and 2013 with the ambassador that was there at that point in time. And the ambassador realized, well, if all they want money instead of stadium, well, no problem. We giving all the money. Yeah. All they don't want the rest of houses. No problem. We giving, that means we don't have to build that. We don't have to keep up our end of the bargain. But when the new National Party came in, they were able to get back the houses and have the athletic stadium completed as were the agreement from 2005. But now this government gives you the impression that that is it, there are no more houses to get. That they're going to go into public-private partnerships with various organizations, and I wait to see the organizations that they're going to get into this public-private partnership with. I'm waiting to see who these companies are and who the principals of these companies are, the directors, etc. Because it's a very interesting scenario when you see who some of the directors and who some of the companies that has been doing serious business with government, who they are. So we're looking now at a situation that they have now rebranded houses that in 2005 were low-income houses for the people of Grenada. In other words, people that don't have high spending power, but you want to uplift their standard of living, so you're going to give them a nice house to live in. That's what the people of China have decided that they wanted to do for the people of Grenada. So you had phase one of the project. They did phase one. They looked, they said, well, okay, we did that way. We're not going to do it that way again. We're going to improve on what we did in phase one. We may have made little errors here or there. We may have decided to do this way, but it didn't work out. So let's change what we do in phase two. So phase two has come along, and phase two is much improved than what you had in phase one. But they were still, up to 2022, low-income houses. This government, this present administration has found that these houses too good for a certain class of people in Grenada. That too good for them. That don't give them, don't lift their standard of living. So they have changed the name of the houses now. They have rebranded the houses the same way they rebranded Imani, the same way this week they rebrand CBI, the same way they rebranded ministries, the same way they rebranded everything. They have now rebranded the houses from low-income houses to condominiums. And they are using the Condominium Act. They are utilizing, there's a law in relation to condominiums, they are utilizing the Condominium Act to say that these houses are now condominiums, and we're going to not give the houses, not gift the houses, as was the intention of the Chinese government when they signed that agreement, when they built those houses, that those houses were a gift to the people of Grenada. Yeah, you pay a little something for your administrative and so on to go in and whatever. But not that you charge them $50,000 and $70,000, which immediately puts it out of the reach of the category of people that were considered low income. So they rebranded the houses the same way they rebranded everything. They rebranded the houses from low income houses. Now they magically are condominiums now, which means that the lady that the Prime Minister was talking about when he was at that meeting, and he was talking about, oh, the lady that that is vulnerable and needs a place to stay, she is not being considered for one of those houses. And that category of people are not being considered for those houses. So when you hear them speaking about these things, understand the mindset behind what they are saying. So they rebranded. Let me see if I could pull it in. They rebranded. Yeah? They rebranded the houses. From low-income houses, they are now condominiums. And not just those in Corinth, all of them that were supposed to uplift the standard of living of categories of people in Grenada. No. That is not for them. Lead them wherever they are, lead them there. We have friends and we have people that we find should get these houses. And you keep hearing every day, when you're like me, you keep hearing every day from people who were offered and cannot secure the financing. People who went to the credit unions, and when they went to the credit union tell them, well, where are you going with this thing? We fed up, tell them, don't send people to us with this because we are not taking part in that. The commercial banks, even the national insurance scheme, some people went there and could not get through. To the NIS, Massa Bull, Massa Cow, same as the Housing Authority. It is a statutory body, but it is under the government of Grenada and directed by the government of Grenada. So Massa Bull, Massa Cow. Don't try to give us the impression that like doing with the Physical Development Authority, that it is a separate body from government. Absolute unequivocal nonsense. And tell them it. Yeah? Massa Bull, Massa Cow. PDA, the D in it is for deacon, not development. Yeah? It's for deacon and demolish. That is what PDA is for. Yeah? So, what? People demolishing all over? That is what they say for PDA? People demolishing all over? Or please, deacon, I beg? Yeah, that's what they say it's standing for. But it is him. Cannot absolve himself of all responsibility in relation to that. And then today, outside of the rebranding, they rehanded over because up to this point in time, I am still trying to understand what was the use of today's activity. Lulu, good night to you, my dear. I am still trying to understand what really took place today. Was it a handing over? Because I know the Chinese handed over the keys already. Yeah? So I'm wondering, but what taking place? So what was handed over today? Because if it was being handed over, I see they went and they cut in ribbon. Yeah? I see they went and they cut in ribbon in them place. So I'm asking, what really take place today? Because as far as I know, the ribbon to them place cut already. So what was taking place today? The ribbon has already been cut. The ribbons have already been cut to those places. The keys have already been handed over by the Chinese ambassador to the government of Grenada. In fact, don't take my word for it.
647 families will soon take up residence in the Chinese low-income housing units at their 5 locations. Phase 2 of this project saw the construction of housing units at Boucher-Jou St. George, Dumfries Carriacou, St. Patrick, St. David, and St. Mark. The handing over ceremony of the Boucher-Jou units took place on Tuesday.
A major plank of government coming in after the next election will be more attack on serious development of housing stocks throughout the length and breadth of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. We are committing ourselves to this, the need for low-income housing, a little above low-income housing, and in some middle income. But we are looking at lands in several areas because the need is enormous, and whatever we do now will not meet even a small portion of it. So housing has to be a major factor going forward.
Minister for Social Development and Housing, Delma Thomas, was present for the handover of keys.
In the coming weeks, people will be able to occupy these houses after the processes of admission is completed. We have more applicants for these houses than we have units. And I say more applicants. In fact, we have maybe 5 times more applicants for each side than we have units. And so the team that is in place must review through a transparent process all applicants to ensure, based on clear criteria, that the most in need are given priority.
Chinese ambassador to Grenada, His Excellency Wei Hongtian, assures that the maintenance team will remain on the island for approximately 2 years to address any issue that may occur at the unit.
Honorable Prime Minister honorable ministers, today, on behalf of the Chinese government, I have the great honor to officially hand over these 647 house units to you, and through you, to the government of Grenada and the people of Grenada.
Officials say the second phase of Chinese housing units is built to a different standard than the first batch. A fitness area has been incorporated as well as a division to accommodate a maintenance crew and equipment. These elements were not included in Phase 1. Windows are also being adjusted to local standards. St. David has the largest number of units, 222 units. The project was led by the Beijing Construction Engineering Company. Christelina John, GBN News.
Yes, so they just hand over something that was handed over already. So when they went posing to cut ribbon today, tell them the ribbon cut 2 years ago. Yeah? And I want to play that over and I'll get to different parts in it and we'll have a little talk about it. Yeah? Let me play it over one more time. Well, not one more time. I'll play it more than once, but let's go over it because I want you all to pick up one or two things inside this thing. Yeah? All right, so let's get it over here and let's just start it again.
647 families will soon...
So, in case you all didn't notice, that was just the ribbon being cut. So, in other words, the ribbon for those houses were cut already. I see people going and cut ribbon today. Because you see, they want to make you believe that they are the ones that doing that they had something to do with it. The ribbon for day, and this ribbon was way nicer anyhow. The ribbon was cut already, right? Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, the person who negotiated those houses in 2005, already cut them ribbon. Look, we were still wearing masks back in those days. But let me go forward.
647 families will soon take up residence in the Chinese low-income housing units at their 5 locations. Phase 2 of this project saw the construction of housing units at Boucherjou St. George, Dumfries Carriacou, St. Patrick, St. David, and St. Mark. The handing over ceremony of the Boucherjou units took...
The what? The handing over? I thought there was handing over today, but anyhow.
...place on Tuesday.
A major plank of government coming in after the next election will be more attack on serious development of housing stocks throughout the length and breadth of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique.
Now, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell said that at that function, we as NNPites never went out there and repeated. We have ourselves to blame. He spoke of, and let's hear what he said there in relation to housing, because when they come with Project 500, don't think it's an original idea that they come up with. Listen to Dr. Keith Mitchell speaking. The then Prime Minister, former Prime Minister, listen to him speaking and you realize behind his head it has the words China aid low income housing. Not condominium. It has behind his head China aid low income housing. So let's hear what he had to say.
Coming in after the next election will be more attack on serious development of housing stocks throughout the length and breadth of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. We are committing ourselves to this, the need for low-income housing, a little above low-income housing, and in some middle income. But we are looking at lands in several areas because the need is enormous, and whatever we do now will not meet even a small portion of it. So housing has to be a major factor going forward.
So doesn't that sound as what is taking place now when they start speaking about Project 500? It's the exact same thing, but again, we have only ourselves to blame because we did not take what he said there and go out and spread the message. Some of us didn't hear it, and some of us who heard it did not spread the message. So now they hear Project 500 and everybody jumping up about brand new initiative. Yeah? They started to jump up about brand new initiative. Let me see who was taking the keys there anyway.
Minister for Social Development and Housing Delma Thomas was present for the handover of keys.
In the coming weeks, people will be able to occupy these houses.
Well, you as the minister in charge of that. If it didn't happen, we know who to blame. Anyhow,
After the processes of admission is completed, we have more applicants for these houses than we have units.
but yet still, remember, the NDC administration came into office and reopened the application process. You heard what she said? You heard what she said? There were more applicants than units.
More applicants for these houses than we have units. And I say more applicants. In fact, we have maybe 5 times more applicants for each side than we have units.
And yet still, the NDC, and I mean, they could have asked her, because she's sitting inside there with them. And she does sit down in cabinet and thing with them now. Yeah, I think she's in charge of the mental home or something. Anyhow, she could have told them that, hey, all you, because that was your friend and them. From the time election done, that was your friend and them. So she could have tell them, hey, don't reopen that process. It have 5 times more places than it have for each of the sites. It's not Dr. Mitchell was saying it. It's the minister who was in charge of housing at the point in time that was saying it. Let me hear again.
In fact, we have maybe 5 times more applicants for each side than we have units.
And yet still they reopened the process again. But anyhow, they didn't say, well, let's go through all the present applicants and so on. Because they wanted to fit in their family members. They wanted to fit in the people who campaign on the trail with them. Because they wanted to fit in some instances, possibly themselves. They make sure and they reopen the process to put people on the list who were never there before. It have people who have been approved now that know they only apply when the process reopen, and MP so and so tell them, don't worry, go and apply, you go get through. They know it for a fact.
And so the team that is in place must review through a transparent process all applicants to ensure, based on clear criteria, that the most in need are given priority.
I think certain people just talk in cabinet, Maybe I don't know. Maybe maybe cabinet is a one-man show, because if it's the people who are in need that's supposed to be getting, and you're hearing that you have to go and find 50, and a person in need don't have $50,000 or things that they can go and put up to the bank or the credit union to get $50,000, much less to get $70-something thousand. The people who in need, I didn't think certain people telling them things in cabinet. No, I ain't talking. No,
Through a transparent process, all applicants to ensure, based on clear criteria, that the most in need are given priority.
Chinese ambassador to Grenada, His Excellency Wei Hongtian, assures that the maintenance team will remain on the island for approximately 2 years to address any issue that may occur at the unit.
Honorable Prime Minister, honorable ministers, today.
Yeah, that's the same gentleman who was there today, the ambassador in change. Yeah, that's the same ambassador who was there today up in Corinth. Yeah, because the keys had already been handed over. And he said that in Corinth, in all fairness to Ambassador Hong Tieng, he did say that he handed over the keys 2 years ago to the government of Grenada. So he may be there wondering, what are we doing here, boy? What? Only can be coming to cut ribbon again. I cut that ribbon already. I come in and cut ribbon again. Remember, he cut ribbon already, But let me hear him.
On behalf of the Chinese government, I have the great honor to officially hand over these 647 house units to you, and through you, to the government of Grenada and the people of Grenada.
Officials say the second phase of Chinese housing units is built to a different standard than the first batch. A fitness area has been incorporated, as well as a division to accommodate a maintenance crew and equipment. These elements were not included in Phase 1. Windows are also being adjusted to local standards.
So exactly as we said, in Phase 1, they looked at what they did in Phase 1 and they said, hey, we need to improve on this. The windows, we need to put windows up to Grenada standard. And just remember, Phase 1 was actually completed during the last NDC. Let me repeat, phase 1 was completed during the last NDC. Right? So, this phase was done during the period of the new National Party. And it was done properly. Right? So, when it came to windows and different things and so, right, the Chinese looked, they saw what they did before, they said we have to improve on that. So, they improved. But again, behind the ambassador, just remember, behind the ambassador, you see in the sign as well, you know. Behind the, where the ambassador there? Ambassador where they? Somewhere around here? Right, you see in the L for the low income behind him there? Nice. Low income. Yeah, low income. Look the O right there, the W right behind him there, right? Nice. Low income, not condominium. Not condominium. Right? Nice. So just as long as we understand. Because what they have been doing is renaming and rebranding. Today they rehanded over. So something that has already been handed over, they went and they rehanded over today again. What was really the aim of today? Because I didn't see them handing out keys to anybody. I didn't see anybody coming up and they're saying, well, okay, this person has been successful and this is the person that's getting the key. You hear they say one of the recipients, you hear they mention a person, the person come, they talk for about 20 seconds or less and they go. But you didn't see them handing over keys to anybody. Are there families living there tonight? Are there families living there tonight? Or is it still empty with security guarding empty buildings? 638 days later, when it was criminal for 7 days away from an election to have the places empty. This is 638 days after an election, where the person who made that statement was in charge. Yeah? Where the person who made that statement is in charge for the last 638 days. So are there people living in Corinth tonight? Or is it still just the security and the stray dog and them that has passed around? Yeah? Anyway, somebody from St. David, call and tell me now. Somebody from St. David, let me know. Right? Let me know. Let me know. I don't think that was the only ribbon that cut, you know. They cut ribbon other place too, you know. Yeah, man, ribbon cut other place too. Ribbon they cut other place too.
These low-income housing units in Dumfries, Carriacou are now complete and have been handed over. Minister for Social Development.
Or just now they will go up there and they will say they will go and cut ribbon up in Carriacou too. They will put ribbon in front of it and go and cut ribbon again and say handing over ceremony. And Carriacou already had a handing over ceremony for the recipients to receive their documents and things already. Yeah? So and then they take back all the documents from the people. So anyhow.
Development and Housing, Delma Thomas, was...
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in what she had to say. I heard enough from you for the night. Me interested in hearing no more. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. Yeah? And then remember, earlier this week, well, late last week, earlier this week, they put out some information in relation to the houses and so, saying that what the process is. And let me take a couple minutes and just play that for you because I want you all to know what they have been saying, and then we'll discuss something right after.
We are excited to unveil the seamless process for acquiring your dream unit. Here's what you need to know. Inspection and acceptance of unit, signing of sale agreement, preparation of conveyance by legal team, finalization of transaction between financial institutions, Housing Authority of Grenada, and legal team, handover of keys to homeowner. Important dates to keep in mind. Monday, 18th March 2024, financial institutions will be notified of the availability of the legal documentation for the units. Units will be handed over in the following order: Corinth, St. David, The Villa, St. Patrick, Dumfries, Carriacou, Bouchejou, St. George, and Diamond in St. Mark. Tuesday 19th March to Friday 22nd March 2024 between the hours of 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. the following will take place. Assigned units will be available for inspection for pre-approved clients. Appointment for viewing required. Clients can set up an appointment by contacting Housing Authority of Grenada's main office. Inspections will be conducted in the presence of Housing Authority of Grenada officials. Inspection forms to be signed off on by client and Housing Authority of Grenada officials. All queries by a client must be noted on the form. Monday 25th March to Thursday 28th March 2024 between the hours of 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. the inspection of units will be opened to other shortlisted applicants. Appointment for viewing required. Following the inspection and acceptance of the unit, the client through appointment will be contacted to sign the sale agreement at Housing Authority of Grenada's main office. Inspections of units.
So you mean after the inspection between Tuesday and today, then they'll have to go and sign and then go to lawyers and all this kind of thing? Well, we thought people moving in today because it said handing over, so it couldn't be the Chinese handing over the houses, because the houses were handed over, as we saw since 2022, the houses were handed over to the government of Grenada. The keys were handed over for all the 600 plus houses. They were handed over since 2022. So it couldn't be that you're handing over the keys to the government, because that take place already. It could not be that you was handing over the houses as in the properties itself, because that was done in 2022. You couldn't be cutting the ribbon. So what was handed over today? Because you didn't see a bunch of people go up there and they go up and they receive the key and they're there tonight. From what I'm picking up there still in dark. Yeah? So what was handed over today? What was the rush to ensure that you had a ceremony today? What was the urgency all of a sudden to ensure that you had a ceremony today, and you bring in GIS and you call the media up there and you go and make some speeches that really said nothing anyway? None of the speeches didn't make any sense. In fact, folks, they were so out of it that the PS actually just go up there and instead of reading a speech, he just repeat exactly what the Prime Minister said verbatim in another forum about those houses. He didn't even have time to go and write a speech of his own. So he just repeat the Prime Minister on word for word and call that his speech. Each of them going up and you see them there with a phone, reading off of the phone. Nobody with a speech on something else, all of them going up. Nobody in just have a talking point and say, well, we could talk on it. All of them go up because they know they have to go and get it done by AI and sent to them. So all of them going up with a phone, reading off of the phone. The PS here, Finley, Jeffrey, the scholar. Yeah? It's like you call him out of the crowd to come and sing a calypso. He can't remember any he owned, so he had to sing one by a jamo. So instead of giving a speech himself, he had to go and repeat the Prime Minister's speech word for word. Prime Minister, is you that say that, you know. Remember, you that say that. So now, you have gotten the impression. So we're supposed to stop playing with the Prime Minister saying, no, isn't it? We're supposed to stop playing, right? Yeah, right. So now, you have gotten the impression. And those of you in the diaspora, they are trying to give you the impression that people in them place tonight, they lie. Nobody in there but the security, mosquito, and 2 dogs. They lie. But that is the impression that they wanted to give. That is why they rushed to do what they have done today. Yeah? That is why they rushed to do what they have done today. And let me play something else for you to kind of hammer in what I've been saying. Let me play the Prime Minister today. Yeah? The Prime Minister, when he was speaking today, what he was saying to them.
And reflection is also good. So while I'm indeed extremely happy that we are finally commencing this process, I would say that it took too long. And we need to ensure that as a government and as statutory bodies that serve our people, that we act with as much alacrity as we can to benefit our people. And so to the board management of the Housing Authority, I obviously will be saying to you that I expect over the next several weeks that we keep our commitment to our citizens to ensure that we put them in a position where they can move into the homes as seamlessly and as expeditiously as.
But we thought, so what was handed over then? If you're trying to do it in the next few weeks for the people to move in the house, what was handed over today? What was the necessity of this except a PR stunt? Yeah? What? And then, again, the Prime Minister once again, typical, refuses to take blame for what is being done and what is happening. The Prime Minister ain't taking no blame. Don't blame he. As far as he's concerned, he's not taking blame. Yeah? It's the Housing Authority. So he ain't taking blame. He fired the Minister of Housing, put the Minister of Housing to go and destroy health right now. Yeah? That is what he do. He put another person who, for some reason, was not there today. So the Minister of Housing was not there. Imagine they haven't handed over ceremony to giving over houses. But the Minister of Housing was not there. From my information is that the Minister of Housing is off the island. Yeah, but they're giving out houses today. But Minister of Housing out the island. But not only that, where was the chairman of the board of the Housing Authority of Grenada? Because I found it very strange that you have a ceremony where you are giving out the houses, or you're handing over the houses, or you're cutting ribbon for the houses, whichever one it really was, because to me, it was just a waste of time today. I expected to see some people walking up and collecting the documents and the key. I thought that was taking place today. But from what we were playing before, you recognize that it's going to be a while before these people are able to actually go and collect the keys and so on, move into the place. So you say, I know, for those of you that might be in the diaspora and being fooled into believing that there are people in those places tonight, just the security. That's all that's there. Just the security. So listen again, because the Prime Minister isn't taking blame. You know. He make his statements on the election campaign, but he isn't taking blame. He's putting the blame squarely on the shoulders of the Housing Authority. They need to move faster. Yeah? And they need to move even faster. Because them fellas and them playing what I say during campaign, boy. So, love you.
And reflection is also good. So while I'm indeed extremely happy that we are finally commencing this process, I would say that it took too long. And we need to ensure that as a government and as statutory bodies that serve our people, that we act with as much alacrity as we can to benefit our people. And so to the board management of the Housing Authority, I obviously will be saying to you that I expect over the next several weeks that we keep our commitment to our citizens to ensure that we put them in a position where they can move into the homes as seamlessly and as expeditiously as possible, so that we can begin to actually create the community.
So I thought was a situation that the people moving into the house today. So what? Because we've shown you. The keys were handed over, the houses were handed over long before. And you know, if the new National Party, as took place in Carriacou, had gone ahead and given out the rest of the houses now, the same thing that they did in Carriacou, they'd go and do in Corinth, they'd go and do it in Beaujeu, they would go and do it up in St. Mark, St. Patrick. They would have done the same thing that they've done in Carriacou. Take back the houses from people in Carriacou. There are many people who have gone and who have paid for the Grenada and the Nawasa connection when they got their letters. And now these people have been told that you can't get the houses again. Yeah? No, someone has just messaged me to say, correction, if a minister is out of state, it is constitutional to have an acting minister for the period. Yes, it is constitutional to have an acting minister. But who was the acting minister? I didn't hear any acting minister there on behalf of the individual. I saw Andy Williams there. But again, the audio wasn't there for the first part of when he going up to talk and when he talked. So maybe he was there acting on behalf of the housing minister. I have no idea. But the housing minister was not there. Also, the person who holds the portfolio, right, as the chairman of the housing authorities, Mr. Hugh something or the other. I didn't see he there. I ain't see him in front. I ain't see him in the middle. I ain't see him in the back. I ain't see him on the head table. I ain't even see him on the foot table. I ain't see him no way. He was not there. Why? That's kind of strange that you would have such an important event and the main spokesperson that you've had on at least 2 press conferences and on various programs on GIS, etc., speaking to these housing developments, who is the chairman of the board, he's not even there. I hope all is well with him, because I can't understand another reason why he will not be there. But I'm saying this to say that when you hear the Prime Ministers talking about move quickly and move with alacrity, whatever it is, when he's saying those things, it's because he finds himself under pressure now because we've been playing what we're playing. Yeah? And when you listen to the process, you realize that they didn't speak anything about the event that you had today. They weren't speaking anything about that. But anyway, folks, 440-7377, that's 440-7377, that's the number for you to call and get on to the inside of tonight's program. It's 2 minutes after the hour of 9 o'clock, so let me just remind you of some of the activities coming up tomorrow, Sunday, during the week next week, and the following week. So let me see if I can just pull that up for you. All right. Yes. So the other meetings have gone. And remember, and as I have it, I'm going to play it. You have the Easter activity, the Easter egg hunt that's taking place right at Westerhall Point Gap. Yeah, right in the gap to go into Westerhall Point. That's taking place tomorrow starting from 3. So you could bring the children out. There are toys, different things there. So you can go out there. That's taking place tomorrow starting from 3. All right. So that is the Easter egg hunt. It takes place at Westerhall Point tomorrow. You could bring the children out to that one. Then on Sunday, the Honorable Emlyn Pear, she has the Women's Symposium. That is going to be taking place there at Uncle's Bar and Lounge in Marquis St. Andrew. Yes, the Honorable Emlyn Pear. And the time it starts at 4 p.m. You could contact the constituency office for more information in relation to transportation and so the St. Andrews Southeast constituency branch, they have the Women's Symposium at Uncle's Bar and Lounge in Marquis St. Andrew starting at 4 p.m. on Sunday. They're going to provide refreshments and transportation and so on. So folks, if you can head out there, make sure you head on out there. The PD4 Village Group of the New National Party St. David's branch, they're having their barbecue luncheon. That's taking place not this Saturday, but next week Saturday, starting at 11. Yes, I believe it was starting at 11 a.m. Right, yeah. So that's taking place at Volley Gap in Windsor Forest. And barbecue pigtail at $20. The barbecue chicken at $15. So that's the PD4 Village Group of the New National Party. They're having that barbecue luncheon, green salad, bread rolls, and yeah, man, they got drinks on sale. And nice little vibes out there at Volley Gap in Windsor Forest, right? Also, Nexa New Dimensions. Nexa New Dimensions, they are having that activity. Nice. That is taking place also next week Saturday, not this week Saturday, and next week Saturday, they're going to have cake sale. So, right? So, make sure you go and you get your cake. You see the cake they put on the thing there? The cake nicer than that. Yeah, real nice cake, right? So, Nexa New Dimensions. Indulge in our delectable assortment of homemade cakes at our Panyard Bake Sale. All right? It is taking place on March the 30th, 2024 at the Melville Street New Dimensions Panyard. All right? For further information, if you want to pre-order your cake and thing, call 406-6519. 406-6519. Then, folks, Easter Sunday, it's the NNP Big Lime taking place at the Grand Mall Playing Field. All right, so that's the Grand Mall Playing Field on Easter Sunday. Music, games, food and drinks on sale. You get to interact with the various members of the New National Party. Of course, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, the political leader, former Prime Minister, leader of His Majesty's opposition. He will be there. All right, so that's taking place on Easter Sunday. There are the NNPites. All right, and all the other ites who want to come out too and support, come on out. All right? Nice. So that's taking place at the Grand Mall playing field on Sunday, Easter Sunday, March 31st, starting at 11 a.m. All right? Looking forward to see you all there. And D&G, in conjunction with the New National Party, they present the Garden Party. All right? That's on Easter Monday, starting at 5 p.m., going up until 11 p.m. Different foods, exotic food, all kind of fancy thing. Yeah, thing you never eat before you go have it there. All right? Exotic food by a professional chef. We ain't getting no DB chef. Yeah? This one, again, a professional. All right? And drinks, premium drinks on will be there as well. Tickets, $300 single, $500 for couples and so on. Music by a live band. And it's taking place at 1 Shaney Lane, Lansopine, St. George. That's right after the club there, the University Club. Yeah, right after the University Club. That is taking place. Richard, thank you very much. Yeah, that is taking place at the University Club out there, right after the University Club in Lansopine. So those of you that know the University Club is right after the University Club. You're going to see the activity taking place there. All right? And folks, yeah, wait now. We're going on with the phone line there. All you just listening? No problem, man. Yeah, listen. Right? So we also have, let me just pull this one up quickly. My good friend Richie has just sent it for me as a reminder because I myself, Richie, actually forget that one, you know. Yes, so folks, the eye clinic. Yes, the eye clinic. It is taking place this Monday. It's starting on Monday, going up until the 28th. All right, so the eye clinic, this eye clinic, yeah, the free eye clinic at the Youth Center in Montrouge. Right, so you could get free reading glasses and sunglasses. You could go down there and you will get one. And eye care medication. So if you need to get your drops and so, they're going to give you your drops. It's sponsored by Roy Vincent in partnership with the, oh boy, is it American? No, I can't see. Yeah, that part is kind of, yeah, that part they kind of thing. Let me see if you could see. Oh, the Alliance, right? Alliance of Jamaican and American Humanitarian. Can't make out the other part there. The design kind of throws us off there. But it's Eyes of Grenada 2024, the free eye clinic. And that's taking place Monday, March the 25th, going down until the 28th. I think the 28th is the Thursday or the Friday. Right, so Monday, March the 25th, going down until the 28th at the Youth Center in Montrouge, St. George. Free eye exam. So you find you ain't seeing proper, you find the child ain't seeing proper, they can't see the backboard proper, and bring them down. So they could get the free eye exams. They have free medication and so for those of you that might have your little problems with the eye, they'll give you the medications as needed. And if you need reading glasses, especially for the elders, for many people, as you're getting elder, you're having problems to read and so they're going to be providing free reading glasses and sunglasses as needed. So head on out to that one. Thank you so very much, Richard. I totally forgot that one. All right, folks. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get on to the inside of tonight's program. 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get on to the inside. The only thing with the eye clinic, I am not sure what time it is starting. But if I were you all, I would go down early. Yeah, I wouldn't take the chance of going down late. And then I was told that we're only seeing about X amount of people today and so on. So I would suggest that if you're going down, that you go down early so that you can do what you have to do and you're out of there in a reasonable time. All right? So that's the free eye clinic at the Youth Center in Montrouge. That's right next to the Grenada Trade Center and across from the Olympic. Yeah, you know the Youth Center? Nice, right? So the Youth Center, you're heading on down there. 440-7377. So nobody want to call? No problem. Yeah, so that means I will leave on time. Nice. 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside. So, yeah, all right. Thank you, Richard. So he says it's from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So you can't go after work when you finish 4. After 4, I will go down there. Right? So it starts at 9 a.m. and it finishes at 4 p.m. So if I were you all, I would try Monday to Thursday. Right? So if I were you all, I would try to go there quite early. Not Friday. Then we take back Friday. It's not on Friday. Monday to Thursday. So if I were you all, I would try to get there at least by 8 for the latest, right? I would try to get there at least by 8 for the latest. And they're starting at 9. Next thing they say, well, people here and we're ready, and they start early. At least you're there. You can do what you have to do, and you come on out. You need to get your reading glasses or sunglasses, so when you're going out in the sun, you find the sun does affect your eyes in a negative way, you can get that out there as well. So make sure you go on out and you get your stuff. All right? Nice. Also, folks, on Tuesday, there's going to be a sitting of the Parliament. And one of the bills that will be going to Parliament for passage into law is an amendment to the Procurement Act to raise the ceiling up to $100,000.
We should close down our station from the nation. Why? Cause all your friends in me. We walk good about.
And for those of you that may not understand what that entails, let me just take this call and I'll come back to that. First of all. Yes, caller, go right ahead. You're live.
Good night, Sheldon. How are you?
Hey, I'm quite fine. You go right ahead. You're live.
Yeah, yes. Well, I've been listening to the press conference today regarding the distribution of the houses. And it is amazing, right? Every time it seems that the government is under some pressure, there always seems to be some grandeur announcement. That seems to be the trend of this government. They tend to have some grandeur announcement to always, goad the people of Grenada into believing that something exciting and so on is happening. You look at today, it's no different. We've had, in recent times, the Prime Minister's announcement as to regarding the escaped convicts, the escaped prisoners and so on. That press conference didn't go down so well. As a matter of fact, it's the first time I would have seen a Prime Minister sell out his own countryman, the police force, his ministry, to that matter, in blatantly accepting responsibility for the police officers being responsible for the escaping custody and resulting in the death of, the foreign persons who would have been visiting our shores. That didn't go down so well, and then we saw a press release from his party trying to butter that up and beef it up and sell it as, sweet candy, so the people of Grenada could bite on and chew as if, he was being patient and so forth. Well, if you were being patient and wanting to come to the nation to release information in a timely manner, you certainly did not accomplish that in that press conference. And so now we have, again, the following up of a grandeur announcement that the houses which were handed over since 2022, we've waited 2 years for these houses now to be finally persons to have access to them. It's unfortunate that the poor and vulnerable persons who some of these houses who need, not want or desire housing, but who need housing relief will not be able to afford these houses. But nonetheless, the persons, Grenadians who are desirous and can afford, it's an opportunity for them. Now we're being told after the release today again that these people would have to wait a few weeks before they can move into their houses. So the grandeur announcement today, you will have heard again the Prime Minister stating that a lot of these delays, he holds again responsibility for that through his government for the delivery of these items. You hear all of the speakers today, the theme song was finally. Indeed, we chant finally too, because the Grenadian people have been waiting for these houses to be released to the Grenadian public, not as a fundraising venture, but for relief for people who really wanted and desired these homes. So again, it comes to me as no surprise that you will see another grandeur announcement again coming forth, because this is not going to hold water, and if it doesn't captivate the Grenadian people and make them forget what has recently transpired and the recent matters that are ongoing, with youth in violence, gun crimes, and so forth that we've been facing. We've seen a release today. I saw one by Bishop Dave King, and it's good to see the religious community coming on board and starting to finally speak out about what's happening in our country right now, and the need for us to take a better approach to conflict resolution and having alternatives for our young persons to ease their frustrations and so forth. So, I just wanted to share that this is something new, and this is not something we should be surprised about or be too excited about. Finally, yes, we're grateful and thankful that the homes have finally been distributed to persons who are desirous of homes and can afford it. We're not happy that some persons who actually need the homes will not be able to afford those homes, and we're not surprised there is this grandeur announcements again coming from this government to distract persons from what are the real socio-economic issues that the Grenadian people are facing at this moment. So again, I want to thank you for the opportunity, and keep motivating you to keep going on your program. You're doing a wonderful job keeping the Grenadian people informed. Have a good night, brother.
All right, thank you. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. Yeah, that's the number for you to call and get on to the inside of tonight's program. And just before that call, I was telling you all that there is the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Property Act number 39 of 2014. Yes, I remember that act. And it set a limit of $15,000 for, and let me explain what it means. If in a ministry, a government department, a division, they have to purchase something, once it costs over $15,000, they have to go through a specific process to avoid any sort of corruption taking place. This is being done to avoid corrupt practices, right? So for instance, if they have to get stationery, and over the years, stationery has always been a big component of what ministries purchase and so on. You would be very surprised. Ink and so on for printers, paper and all of that has always been expensive over the years. Not just in Grenada, everywhere. Now, if they have to purchase those stationaries, and they have somebody within the ministry has an agreement with somebody that, hey, we're going to purchase all of that from you, and whatever you purchase and so on, we're going to get a little percentage off of it or whatever. Let's say they have that sort of corrupt deal. Yeah, so to avoid that happening, you say anything under $15,000, the ministry could go ahead and do what they have to do. Right? They could check this one, they could check that one, and so they could get it on their own. That's a relatively small amount compared to what the ministries generally spend. But once it goes above that, you have to go through a process of letting the public know that you're looking for those items. So 3 or 4 companies could come in and you get the best price. Let's take this call. Hello, good night.
Hello, good night.
Hi, good night.
Delma during NDC party. Delma was the Minister of Housing. Why Delma ain't tell Deacon and them what they're doing is wrong? That's why they take on the choir in the crazy house.
I don't know now. I don't know. Me, Papa, you only want to put me in trouble. Poor me, only want to go and put in trouble. Let's take this call. Hello, good night.
Hey, good night, Brother Sheldon. How
Hi.
are everything?
Hey, I'm good, man. You go right ahead. You're live.
All right. Yeah, Brother Sheldon, since the last election, I could stand to say that Grenada is going in the wrong direction. They're going the wrong way. And it began the election campaign. We all know that it's Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, where the Prime Minister changed it and said Petit Martinique, Carriacou, and Grenada. Right? And number 2, we have, the truth the government becomes false. And the false become the truth. You have again the government breaking down people's business, which are the only means of making money to take care of the family. Before they find somewhere to relocate the people, what the government should do before, yes, you might get them to notice to tell them about it, but you cannot break down the busy people place. That's why they're making the daily bread by. So if you want them to move, get some place where you relocate them and put them there so they will have the business running. You have again, Brother Sheldon, like morality becomes private and immorality become public. Everything that what is right, it become wrong. What is wrong, Brother Sheldon, it become right. Brother Sheldon, this government will go on in history as a government that anti-poor people. A government without a vision to take the country forward. And when you look at the situation with security of our nation, the Prime Minister, the Minister of National Security, the Commissioner of Police, they all need to resign and go back to training school and learn how to the ways and means how to secure place. I want to say to the Grenadian people, the Prime Minister and the Commissioner of Police, the National Security and the Security Foundation, I see that as that over the pay grade, the pay grade. And instead of demoting police that qualify to do a good job, I should be they look into themselves and demote themselves first. Brother Sheldon, have a blessed night.
All right, my brother. 4407377. That's 4407377. And folks, just quickly, a friend of mine that I'm laughing on WhatsApp there. Folks, yeah, I was telling you all about the Procurement Act because it's something that you all need to pay attention to. Parliament is going to sit on Tuesday and they are going to increase the maximum amount of money from $15,000 to $100,000. So anything under $100,000, you don't have to go through a process of getting a bid from 2 or 3 people. Yeah? So government now, a ministry could buy equipment, and within the ministry now, they could decide without going through a process and say, let's look for the best deal. So let's say they have to buy 9 computers. They need to buy 9 computers. So they can just say, okay, we have a friend, he have a card, a debit card, he could buy the computers through Amazon or whatever and bring it in for us, and he just put the markup on it. And that would be legal now because they don't have to go through a tendering process. The tendering process means that they would say to the general public, they would announce the Ministry of, let's say the Ministry of Health is seeking to purchase equipment for a particular program, right? And we are looking for tenders from various suppliers to purchase that equipment. So let's say it's some computers. Let's say it's 9 computers they're purchasing. So different companies that purchase computers, that sell computers, would then send into the Ministry of Health and bid. Who would say, well, okay, we'll charge $30,000 for them. Or who would send in and say, we're going to charge $29,000 for them. And somebody might send in and say, well, we're charging $32,000 for it. But you have bids from about 3 different companies. Then you just look at it, you say, well, okay, this one came in at the lowest level. But if something goes wrong with the computer, they are not offering after sales service. They are not saying for a period of 6 months or 1 year or 2 years, we are going to come and solve any problems with the computer within that space of time. They're just selling you and that's it. While the company that's saying they're going to do it for $32,000, they are offering after sales service. They're going to come every now and again. Even if nothing wrong, they're going to come, update, check for malware, etc. They're going to do what has to be done. So it's not necessarily the company that bids the lowest that would win, but the company that would have the best deal overall. But instead of going for what's the best deal overall, this government is just saying, get that person the contract. That's what they're doing. That is what the new National Party in 2014 put in place this act to avoid the possibility of that sort of thing taking place, where within a ministry, somebody could say that, hey, we have to buy this machinery and it's going to cost $20-something thousand, but just tell you bring it in. And then to find out later down the road that when that machine comes in and that person get paid, that somebody else in the ministry, who was probably the person that direct that person to bring it in, get paid as well. So that is why you had it at anything below $15,000. Anything below $15,000, you didn't have to go through the bidding process. But anything above that, you had to. Now, this government has increased the level to $100,000. So any purchase by a ministry up to $100,000, and for those of you that may not know, $100,000 could even include a vehicle. That can even include a vehicle now. So you don't put out a tender and say that our government is seeking a vehicle for this ministry or so. No. You ain't had a tender, nothing again. You just buy a vehicle from whoever you feel like could be one of the recognized companies, or could be a company that just formed last week. Because remember, there's the same government that gave $500,000 to an organization that wasn't even registered at the time that the cabinet okayed the $500,000 for them. Yes, I'm talking about nation builders. Yeah? So when you see these things going to Parliament, understand what was the mischief that the then government was trying to correct and avoid. When I say mischief, I mean something that could be used for mischief. That is what you were trying to ensure. Now, this comes on the back though. This that is going to Parliament now comes on the back of a lot of talk that you're hearing about contractors and so during the independence. You're hearing about a lot of things that should have gone through with the $15,000 limit. A lot of things that should have gone through the proper procurement process according to the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Property Bill of 2014. Act number 39 of 2014. That a lot of the stuff that should have been going through, that process never went through it. With the independence, with how much $1 million they were spending, it didn't go through that process. So you had people that did jobs and for $50,000 here, $80,000 there, a $70-something thousand there, a $40-something thousand there. And some of the companies that you're hearing it, we could find out eventually, but you're hearing that many of these companies were not companies that were existing before, as in had a track record and were around for many, many years doing and providing that particular service. There are companies that just cropped up over the last year or so. And they were getting a lot of these contracts to do things for $30,000 and $40,000, $50,000, $100,000 and so on, $80-something thousand. And then you're also hearing that the principals, that the people who own these companies, or the people with shares in these companies, or the people associated with these companies are either executive members of the National Democratic Congress, or they are the significant others, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband of people who are directly within the executive of the National Democratic Congress, and in some instances that the people are directly linked to cabinet ministers as well. You're hearing about these things. So now I find it extremely suspicious that at a point in time that sort of thing is out there, that you're now hearing, and let me see if I could increase the size of this so you can see for yourselves, that you are now hearing that they are trying to raise the amount now from 15,000 to 100,000 when a lot of these little contracts over the independence. That is what happened. They should have gone through the public procurement process. And I'm interested when this bill comes up in Parliament. I'll be listening because I'm very interested in hearing when is the effective date. Yeah, I'm interested in hearing when is the effective date of that particular bill as well. Because I want to know if it's covering all them people and them that should have gone through the procurement process during the year last year and this year for the independents. There are some other bills that are going to Parliament, and I don't think it wise of me to raise them at this point in time with just a half hour remaining, because what to say on one of them in particular, I think it's better I hold it to Monday. Yeah, what I have to say in relation to one of them, I think I'm going to hold it to Monday. All right, 440-7377. That's 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get on to the inside of tonight's program. Yeah, 440-7377. That's the number.
Don't fret me, don't fret me, don't fret me, don't fret me. I said, don't fret me.
Folks, I think we need a reminder of what the Prime Minister does say about keeping the houses and them up. No, they don't want us to play them thing. They don't want us to say them things. So maybe we need to remind people a bit about what the Prime Minister is saying. Let me hear what he say.
Temporary housing while they can catch themselves. It is criminal to have.
It is what? We want to make sure we hear you proper, Prime Minister. Them people is talking, making noise. The next thing all you have to make sure and do it. Yeah.
It is criminal to have a woman with children in those conditions, and you have the current housing scheme provided by the people of China still locked up.
638 days later, yeah, still locked up. Yeah, still locked up. Yeah. All right, Benio.
Still closed up. An entire year after it was handed over to you by the Chinese government. So you prefer your people to remain homeless and to be on the street than to give them housing that was not provided by you, that was not built by you, but that is part of a grant from the Chinese government, yet you have security guarding the complex. The complex is empty. And our citizens can't even drive down to examine the quality of the housing. Under the National Democratic Congress government, that will end. And the people in our communities who are vulnerable and who need the houses will be given the houses.
I'm sorry, but folks, do you think any of the vulnerable people got the houses? Anyway, let's. Good evening. Hello.
Hey.
Hi. Yes, caller.
Hey, Sheldon.
Hi. You're live. Go right ahead.
The people in Carriacou who had got those letters. Those letters was legal.
Yeah,
the government give it to these people. Can these people take this government to court?
They can, but there seems to be a
they
fear among people.
These people to court. It's time for somebody to do something. You know. What they do is wrong. You can't, I mean, a government can't give people something legally. And then the next government come in and just, come on, man. I crying for these people and them in that Prime Minister tell that he will give the house, these old people and these people with children who they on the street and nowhere for they live. And he will see that is change as soon as he get into power. He gonna change all that. Well, these old people and them must be done dead already. And this woman and them, I don't know. But that man don't have no shame, he have no heart. He like Satan. Good night, Sheldon, because right now I'm so caught up about this stupidness that's going on. We're going through too much. Thank you.
All right, caller. Thank you. Yes, indeed. I wonder who's the people that had to get the houses, Mr. Prime Minister? Who's the people?
Under the National Democratic Congress government, that will end. And the people in our communities who are vulnerable and who need the houses will be given the houses.
They will be given. Who is the people that will be given the houses? Let me just make sure we hear him, because that is not AI, that is he talking for himself. So let me hear him. Let me watch him. Yeah, Let me see. You watch him there? Yeah, okay, let me watch him here. All right, Mr. Prime Minister, go ahead, talk.
And who need the houses will be given.
Now, we had to take it back a little more than that? Okay, right. So let me hear.
Under the National Democratic Congress government, that will end. And the people in our communities who are vulnerable and who need the houses.
The people who what?
Under the National Democratic Congress government, that will end. And the people in our communities who are vulnerable.
The people in our communities who are vulnerable. So let me ask, how many vulnerable people all you know have access to $50,000 or $70,000? No, they were not lucky to have companies to get contracts during the independence celebrations, that are now going to be covered by the Procurement Act on Tuesday. They're not that lucky. How many vulnerable people? Because at that point in time, he knew they were vulnerable, isn't it? How many vulnerable people you think are sleeping real comfortable tonight because they realize now, boy, I was able to get my money and buy that place? How many of them? Yeah? But there's another aspect of this we're going to speak about next week. I had to do some reading over the weekend.
Democratic Congress government, that will end. And the people in our communities who are vulnerable and who need the houses will be given the houses. But I want to go further and say this.
I agree to a good friend of mine. Today was an epic sham. Smoke screen, and I agree with you, my love. Smoke screen and sham. Because it's this that hurting them. Yeah, you know what I have to do? I have to make that a short and put it up on the I think I'll make it into a short, put it up on YouTube, make it in a reel and put it up. Yeah, we'll fix that up later. Nice? Yeah.
Under the National Democratic Congress government, that will end. And the people in our communities who are vulnerable and who need the houses will be given the houses.
Didn't say would be sold the houses. You said they would be given the houses, isn't it? Yeah, but I mean, and they run and they vote for you, you know. They run and they vote for you. They'd be given the houses back again. When I played the thing by Dr. Mitchell earlier, I say many of us, and you know, I'm not the Prime Minister, I take blame. When I have to take blame, I take blame. Everybody know that about me in Grenada. I will take blame. I ain't sidestepping. I taking blame. So all of us have to take some blame for hearing what the Prime Minister, Dr. Mitchell, said at that point in time and not bringing that message out to the people that you are coming with a new housing plan where you're going to provide different levels of housing. So for the low income, the middle income, and them a little above the middle income, so that you would provide housing in different formats for these various categories of people. That was said. You heard it. You see the sign behind Dr. Mitchell saying low income houses. So I'm still trying to figure out somebody. I mean, one of my friends just tell me they smoke screen and mirrors, big sham, and I agree with them. But can anybody tell me what they really had today? And here, folks, let me pull up myself alone on this one here. Let me remove them out of that. Folks, I don't want tonight end without me saying this. And we have a time before tonight end, but I want to make sure that I say this tonight. I find it to be absolutely disgusting. I find it to be very troubling. I find it to show the nature of the individuals that Mr. Oliver Joseph was not even invited to today's activity. Now, the houses were negotiated. At the point in time the houses were negotiated, I'm wondering if he was in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs at that point in time. Back in 2005, he may have been. But forget that. Let me even forget if he was in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs at that point in time. But what I could tell you is this. That when it came to the distribution of the houses, when I say distribution, as in how much each area is going to get, Oliver Joseph was the voice in the cabinet that was saying St. David people need houses. St. David people get one of the hardest lash when Hurricane Ivan passed. And as such, St. David should get the lion's share of the houses. Yeah, and he was unrepentant in continuing to make that statement in cabinet and outside of cabinet as well. So he was the driving force behind ensuring that when you decide and you cut up how many houses each area are going to get. So if they get 56 and they get 100 and something, that St. David's got the 200 plus units that they got. He was the driving force behind ensuring that that happened. He was the person that oversaw the building, from the selection of the land to the building of those places and everything. He was the MP that promised it to the people of St. David. And he was the MP that delivered it to the people of St. David. And even if there may be a political difference, even if he may be the candidate that did not win the last time around, it is very disgusting to have a ceremony like that. And even if he don't come, it's up to him. But to invite him, to say to him, hey, we are sending an invitation to you. This is happening. No, we don't need you to speak or so. We just need you to be there. Yeah? If you're speaking about unity, if you're speaking about Grenada being one people, Grenadians being one people and all of us working together, yeah, and living together and so on, right? Good. Somebody just confirmed to me that he was the PS in Foreign Affairs at that point in time. One of the best PSs that ever passed through. The same Oliver Joseph. So he was the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs at the time that the diplomatic relations with the People's Republic of China was established and those houses were secured. And he was the one that was in cabinet constantly. And he got the support of the rest of the cabinet. Everybody said, well, yes, St. David's in truth. Sometime from the time he opened his mouth and he started to talk, you hear somebody like Sister Clarice Modest or somebody say, well, yes, you know, Brother Oliver again, Brother Oliver. Yes, we support Brother Oliver. Everybody got the support. Nobody said, well, no, I want more and St. David should get less. But he made sure. He didn't just sit down there and say, well, let me see what they give me. He was aggressive in his approach in ensuring that what you see there in Corinth became a reality. And all you sit down there, go cutting ribbon that cut already. And all you do even say, Mr. Oliver Joseph, come and sit down and let people see you there, man. Because you're the man that negotiate and get this amount of houses for St. David's might have, next thing St. David's they get half the amount it get, and some houses it end up somewhere else, or it split among the other places that have houses. But St. David got that amount because of him. The cabinet itself supported him, not a person sit in cabinet and say, no, Oliver, you can't get that amount. Everybody supported him. Everybody supported Brother Ollie. So to not even have the common courtesy or decency, because we know that does not seem to dwell within the minds of these individuals, did they find it fit to even send an invitation to invite the man and say, well, listen, brother, at least come out to the activity? I mean, it was a sham and a smoke screen, but at least you could have invited him to the sham and the smoke screen that you had there today. You could have invited him. It would have shown you to be a bigger man. It would have shown you to be a person that is contrite. But instead of that, you just don't invite the man. You don't even tell him nothing. You don't invite him. Yeah? Look, you had the situation tomorrow. The Sixth Senses is going to be open in St. David. You know who the person that got Sixth Senses, that negotiated with these people, that got the two hotels that are, well, one finished now and the other one still being built. You know the person who got those are? A person by the name of Mr. Oliver Joseph. Give Jackie jacket and Joan she blouse. And if you have to give them 2 independent spin to put on it, give them. But it was he, and I'm pretty sure, I'm absolutely positive that neither side has the common decency to send an invite for him to come in that ceremony tomorrow. You know who's going to be there? The people who went down with Bullhorn. Yes, you Persuader. The people who went with Bullhorn, because they have no shame on it. They go in there and drink champagne tomorrow. They go in there and drink champagne tomorrow. Wow. Big new facility for St. David. The same people was going down and say, you're mashing up the ecotourism. But they're going there tomorrow. They're putting on their nice outfit. They'll put on a nice dandan. Well, it's evening wear, so I'm not too sure they'll go have on business suit and that kind of thing. But they're going to go. But yet still, the man who in the election campaign in 2013 promised the people of St. David that he will bring a hotel to St. David. That same Oliver Joseph in 2013 election campaign promised the people of St. David he would bring a hotel to St. David. You know, by the 2018 election campaign, he was able to go back to the people and say, well, I know I promised 1, but I bring in 2. And I think there was the possibility of a 3rd. But he bring 2, one of which opening tomorrow the same way. They don't have the decency. And let's see, maybe the people who have the facility might have the decency to invite him. Maybe they may remember a man by the name of Oliver Joseph, who took the blows from the same people that come in and drink champagne and eat finger food and shrimp tomorrow. Who took the blows from these people to ensure that that facility could be built. Maybe the people who have the facility might have the common decency to invite him. Maybe they may not act as how the people who have taken over now and changed and rebranded from low-income houses to condominiums. The gift from the Chinese people to the people of Grenada that is now being sold. The low-income houses that are being sold to people that don't have low income. Maybe the people that have that facility, 6 senses, maybe they have enough decency to know, to remember that when they had to get be it concessions or so on, and they would speak and you would have to do up your documentation and so on, they might remember who was the person that they had to work along with. Or maybe the government might have enough decency to say, listen, this is a person that must be here because he was directly involved. He promised this to the people of St. David in 2013 and he delivered on his promise. In fact, he double delivered on his promise. So instead of 1 facility, now you have 2. So people from St. David, when this facility opens, if they work in that particular industry and they were wise enough to go when the hiring process was taking place, they no longer have to work in the south of the island, get dropped somewhere by the police station and try and make it on their own. They're in St. David already. Yeah? And it may be quite easy for transport, even if the hotel itself doesn't provide it, for some of the staff to get together and say, hey, we're going to give X amount of money, chump up together and we're going to get a bus and we in St. David, man. We just hire a bus. He know he coming at that time for us and he go drop all of us different locations around St. David or so. Whereas when they're living in this, when they're working in the south of the island but they're living in St. David, it even makes it a bit easier for people who are living in St. Andrew and working in the hotel industry, the hospitality industry, and even for some of those in St. Patrick. It makes it easier for them. They're in St. David, they're closer to home. And who did it? The new National Party, the Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell administration, and Mr. Oliver Joseph. But they ain't want to hear that name. Yeah, why afraid him so? Why you want to hear that name? He was the one that negotiated and got it. A friend of mine said they go put on slippers and go. And I have that video somewhere, you know. I must find that video. Because I'm pretty sure they're going to go there tomorrow and say, listen, don't make all your camera and thing cut off tomorrow. Media, make sure all you get persuaded when you there tomorrow. You have no shame, you go. You have no shame, not an ounce of shame. That guy, he gonna go. Yeah? So make sure all you get the pictures of him there tomorrow. Make sure all you get the videos. If he doesn't go, we want to know if he's against his government welcoming that particular project. Because we have statements and we have video. Yes, so we know what he was saying before in relation to that project. We know what he was saying in relation to that project. Folks, we just have about 9 minutes remaining. If you need to call, we can take your call now. Other than that, you know what's going to happen. Yeah, we won't be able to take the call. All right, guys. Yeah, so if you're calling, you have to call now. You understand? You know, before I run out of time tonight, you know what, boy? Let me see if I could find something here. Right, let me see if I could find something here. I'm just trying to find something here before I run out of time tonight. We have a caller online. Yes, we have a caller online. Good night.
Hello, good night, Sheldon. What is the name of the next hotel in St. David?
That keeps slipping me right now, but there's a second one that's being built as well. But
what is the name?
No, it's just slipping me right now, but I'll get it just now.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, for some reason, having a senior moment. Right. So let's see, you know, let's see if we could remember what was being said by some people. Yeah. Let's see, where's the audio to this, man?
And that is why you are here today. That is why you are here today. So, I would again want to thank all of you for coming, giving your funding, interest, time, with us in this struggle. And as we have been saying, coming on the market, we shall overcome. At this point in time, I will bring to you to the microphone with our Adrian Thomas, political leader of the National Democratic Congress.
Yeah, and somebody just reminded me, Intercontinental, that's the second one, the Intercontinental, yeah. I had a senior moment there a little while ago, the Intercontinental.
Thank you very much for bringing up.
Persuader, that is not you protesting against the Sixth Sense. That is not, the way you were in there, put on the same outfit and go tomorrow. Put on the same outfit and go tomorrow. That's what we want. Right. Everybody message. What you see, I have some very good friends. I know all you love me, no, I love all you too. Yes, everybody messaging me and tell me Intercontinental now. Yeah, that's what has happened. Sometimes I just have a senior moment. All you. Watch, man. Yeah. Make sure you put on the same outfit and go tomorrow. Eh?
I want you to give yourself a round of applause for turning out here today because you don't only represent yourself, you represent 100,000 people in Grenada who would wish to be here, but because of the political situation in the country, they cannot be here. Give yourself a round of applause. But I also want to say, my brothers and sisters, we must make it abundantly clear that the National Democratic Congress is highly in favor of developmental projects in Grenada, Carriacou, and Diaspora.
said there about they're doing the project selling passports. I wonder what's taking place. Brother man, put on the same outfit and go tomorrow. All right.
And therefore, my brothers and sisters, having said that we support projects of that magnitude, we must also make it abundantly clear that any threat, any attack on the environment, it will face no trespass.
So any threat, I don't know if you all are hearing clearly because it was quite windy, whoever was taping. Partners, next time you're taping, use a wind muff. Yeah, so he said any threat, they're against any project that's going to be a threat to the environment, etc. And that is where the same place he go in and put on a nice outfit and nice dandan and go tomorrow. Yeah, boy. It has shrimp there. They got some shrimp. They got some oysters. This, boy, this real thing. Premium drinks. It nearly as nice as the NNP Live.
We will resist any form of attack on the mangrove and the dumping of the public. And that's why we are here today. We don't want to know whether it's investor A or investor B. We are sending a strong message that there will be more protests if things continue in that manner. Brothers and sisters, we also must send a strong message to the government of Grenada. For too long, they have been doing things in a laissez-faire attitude, as if the people in the community and the people in Grenada doesn't matter. The people in Grenada, all they are asking for is to have a say in the affairs of the country. This little piece of work belongs to all of us.
To the folks that were there, he go be at the opening tomorrow. Don't feel that taking place and saying, persuade you don't go in. If you don't go in, what happen? You and your cabinet in disagreement over that particular issue, because according to the rules, as far as I know, if you disagree with something that your cabinet, the cabinet that you are part of, is doing, you're supposed to resign. So other than that, you'll be there tomorrow, right? Nice. If you're allergic to shellfish, I'm sure to go have something that you could eat, man.
That's going to create that kind of impact and infringement. We will stand up and let the world know that we're not tolerating or accepting things of that nature.
Yeah, they're not tolerating or accepting things of that nature. The infringement on the mangroves. Yeah.
That's right. Not tolerate. My brothers and sisters, not tolerate. It hurts me when I reach here, and I was confronted of being a trespasser. I have traversed this area, my brothers and sisters, for years. My great-grandmother, who I spent the first 13 years of my life with, told me about this lake. She has been here and been to last year. This is a beach that every citizen in Las Vegas, every citizen in Corinth, every citizen in Malty and Content, every citizen in Kitibakai, my brothers and sisters, have been here. Why do you want to deny us? We say, when you come to our country, we are the most friendly people in the world.
Just remember, this man is going to be there tomorrow. Yeah, or at least his boss is going to be there. I expect most of his cabinet is free food. Most of his cabinet go be there. Oh, God, oh, God. Wait, he's Minister of Tourism and shoot. So wait, he had to speak there tomorrow? Oh goodness. Wee papa. Mr. Minister, watch GBN MTV. One all you make sure all you go and all you tape this man whole address tomorrow, you know. All you, I don't care, watch Now Grenada, whoever it is. Yeah, go make sure all you tape this man whole address tomorrow. Minister of Tourism too. Oh gosh, hey, we.
And therefore we embrace everyone that come here. We embrace you, we love you. But don't mess with us. I mean, no. Don't mess with us, brothers and sisters.
Man say don't mess with us, you know. And go in there tomorrow, you know. But don't you get some broke locks.
I have pledged on behalf of you, my brothers and sisters, that I'm going to talk to the investor sometime tomorrow. And I'm going to arrange to have a discussion with him. So that if the government is not giving us the kind of information that we need, I'm going to sing it for the people of Grenada because I stand here representing them. But I must also let you know that this meeting will not be a meeting between myself and this gentleman. This meeting will be a meeting between this gentleman and a delegation representing the people of Lafayette and Carriacou and Grenada for a while. And with that much of my brothers and sisters, I want to let you know I'll ask the chairman to invite a few other people who wish to say anything to do so. But I also want to let you know that when we leave here, we are going to Las stretch. We went by Dumba. We have some.
Yeah, well, we need to hear all you went and take all your drinks after. I am quite interested in hearing the minister's address tomorrow at the very same facility that he run down about the destroying the environment and the selling passports to people for the... I want to hear what you had to say. Oh gosh, what I say? What's the song again? Bonjour? Folks, that's all the time we have for talking points. What a way to end the week. Folks, that is all the time we have for talking points tonight. For those of you in St. Andrew, Southeast, remember they have the Women's Forum that's taking place on Sunday from 4 p.m. For those of you with the children, remember you can bring them out. There's the Easter activity that's taking place at the entrance to Wester Hall Point tomorrow. Folks, that's all the time. That was still all you call early. You see the phone, that phone going off, this one going off. No, we can't take calls now. Folks, that's all the time we have for talking points tonight. We do appreciate each and every one of you. All of the listeners, those of you that send in the information and everything. Folks, yes, that part though, we need the donations. We do need the donations. We are doing some work. We do need the donations. Whether it's $10, $5, $20 that you can give, hit the Go to Fet link and you can donate whatever it is, 5, 10, 20, 15, 50, whatever you can donate. Give us the donations. We need it. We have some work that we need to do inside studio. Others have come together. They've made sure that we got the equipment that we need, but we still need to get some cables and one or two small things that we need to be able, so that, for instance, when people call, that we are going to hear them clearly. So even though we replace the board, the board is here, even though we're replacing the board and so on, we need to ensure that we have the proper cables and so we need to get those things. We do need the little assistance to do that. Folks, that is all the time we have for talking points today and this week. We want to thank all of you in each and every capacity, all the callers this week, all the people who gave me information this week, all of you that viewed, that shared the program, that liked the program. We want to thank all of you. Yeah? And all of you that continue just to meet me in the street and say, Sheldon, good job. On my way here, every 2 minutes somebody meets Sheldon, good job. Continue doing the work. Sheldon, continue. Right? And believe me, it is not about Sheldon. It's not Sheldon alone. You hear I say people that has helped. Some people just call and they give you the information. Sometimes you might forget something. Somebody might call and tell you and so on. This is not about Sheldon. This is a group effort. It's all of us that making this program work on a weekly basis. Yeah, I am here. I am talking. But every one of you have a part that you've been playing on this program. And we do appreciate it. And I love each and every one of you. So folks, remember the Easter egg hunt that's taking place at Wester Hall at Wester Hall Point. To enter into Wester Hall Point tomorrow. That is taking place there. And then on Sunday, the Women's Forum. All right. And then on Monday, remember the eye clinic starts at the youth center. All right. So I am heading out. Let me play this one for the Diaspora, man. Let me play this one for the Diaspora as I'm heading out, folks, and everything you say and do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. Love each and every one of you.
Grenadians living out in a foreign land. To some at home it kinda seems like we miles apart, but I live each day hoping that you will understand that Grenada really lies so close to our hearts. Hey, I know here at home some harbor the feelings. They say we leave this nation and run, subject to a foreign living, so we no longer daughters or sons. But never mind where we live out of foreign, Europe or not America, is the sound of the diaspora calling. We want you to know we love we sweet Grenada. Hey, I said the diaspora calling, yeah, yeah. We want you to know that we love we Grenada bad. Diaspora calling, yeah, yeah. We love Grenada even though we may live abroad. It's time that we come together, man. We have this nation to build. We got to see ourselves like brothers and sisters. Let's put shoulders to the wheel. Well, let me tell you now, the diaspora calling, yeah, yeah. We want Grenadians at home to please understand. Say the diaspora calling, yeah, yeah. We love Grenada like the hills love the Grenada. In any times of a crisis, man-made or natural disasters, well, let me tell you, man, as there is a God above. Anytime them calls reach out to the diaspora, our response is always simply an act of love. Hey, from every group, from every quarter, we must have every strength we could find, head, hearts and hands together with only one thing on our minds, just to ease the pain that you suffer, to let you know that you're not alone. But there are hearts that bleed for Grenada, patriots far away from home. The diaspora calling, yeah, yeah. We want you to know that we love we Grenada bad. The diaspora calling, yeah, yeah. We love Grenada even though we may live abroad. Our love for this nation, and there is hardly dispute. In any kind of situation, we stand ready to contribute. Let me tell you now, the diaspora calling, yeah, yeah. We want Grenadians at home to please understand. The diaspora calling, yeah, yeah. Some of us live very up in the Grenada. Hey. We never turn our backs, never bring no harm to this spice nation. Neither have we ever treated this land with scorn. No. For every man, woman and child across each generation, it's love we have for this land where we all came from. Hey, never flinching for one moment, no matter what the odds. In any kind of event, you'll always find that Grenadian flag waving and cheering, staking our voices, making our voices heard, ready to take a blow for Grenada. I say for this land we will always proud. Hey, I say the diaspora calling, yeah, yeah. We want you to know that we love we Grenada bad. Diaspora calling, yeah, yeah. We love Grenada even though we may live abroad. Politics and migration are things that drive us apart. There's always room for reconciliation, man. It's never too late to start. Let me tell you now, I said the diaspora calling, yeah, yeah. We want you to know that we love we Grenada bad. I said the diaspora calling, yeah, yeah. We love Grenada even though